announce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown. I'm just telling you to fight for your dreams, but it's not what it seems. Man, it's hard to be seen when everybody wants to be king. Yeah, they all want a ring. Yeah, we all want to be free.
Encore. Apparently, that is the name of today because we're going solo again. Not just on my channel, but on this channel as well. And so you guys are going to run the show. It is an hour of QA, an hour of your questions being answered by me as best as I can. We're a couple weeks away from training camp. You got training camp questions. Potentially have some answers here. Hashtag LNU, hashtag Lions, hashtag my name, hashtag FGB. Whatever you want to do, the hashtag lets me see so I can answer those questions. While you're in here, make sure you hit that like button right now. We got 34 in the building. Let's get, let's say 30 likes. And we're going to go ahead and begin. So let's get those questions rolling right meow. I've heard that Karen Rodgers gets pissed when he meets people, and they say, I thought you were taller. That's interesting. I didn't know that he's such a short guy. Maybe they just assume he's big. But sometimes, you know, it just happens. Just happens that you're not. Would you trade for a linebacker? In all honesty, look, I don't like the linebackers that we have right now, but I do believe in drafting, and I think the Detroit Lions should just go ahead and stay the course, draft their players. Stay with what we got, unless other players get released from other teams, or if it's a player trade. But getting rid of draft capital, draft picks, I'm not for right now. Just draft your players. But if it's a player swap, I'm all for player swaps. I don't mind it at all. That's what it's all about. So, player swap, yes. Draft picks, no. I am definitely in for finding guys in the draft. That is my thing. I think that's how you build a football team. This is something that Detroit hasn't done in recent years, is draft players. But you draft your team, you get young talent, you get undrafted talent. That's how you can be a good football team, successful for the long haul. What do you think will be the main defense in the secondary? The main part of the Detroit Lions, I think it's going to be Amani Oruwariye. He's going to be the staple point for the Lions defense. Tracy Walker, of course. I don't know how much Elliott is going to be out there. Now, I believe Ravens fans by saying this guy is a stud when he's on the field. His just injury history has me question if he's going to be there. If he can be out there, I think he can be a main staple for the Lions in the secondary. Kirby Joseph eventually, I think maybe by the end of the year, you're going to see him making a lot of plays. Definitely love it. Don't know how the linebacker room is yet, but draft ones unless the Bear drop Raquan Smith or so. Yeah, look, if a player gets released, that's better. I'm always about picking up players, turning every rock, whether it be a player that's a name or not a name. If there's a player out there, we got 250 tight ends right now on the roster. Release one of those tight ends, bring in a linebacker, see what he does. Always turn the roster. Always churn that bad boy. You never know what you can find. You can get a Charles Harris out of nowhere. You can get a Jerry Jacobs out of nowhere. There's always a player out there that shocks with their ability. Craig Reynolds last year, he was definitely one of those guys. Is it better to have training camp in Detroit or outside town? Well, they have it in Allen Park. It's not in the city of Detroit. I prefer in the area, in the local area, because you have the fans there. The fans can experience, hang out with the players. I think that's a really part of it, is getting the community together, you know, having the fans interact with the people they root for. I think it's awesome. Having it right in the same area, I think it's a win-win. I understand it if they feel there's a distraction, but in all honesty, players got to deal with fans at games. So what, is it really that big of a distraction? I would say not. Do you see they'll get quality number of 2 quarterback before this season's end? Or just wait for next draft? I don't see it's happening before this season's end. I think it's either going to be Tim Boyle, David Blount, and you know me, I'm not a big fan of that. That's what I think they're going to do. Next year, I do believe they're getting a quarterback in the draft. It just depends what round, what they're trying to get there. But I 100% believe we will not have the 3 same quarterbacks next year on this team. We'll have Jared Goff, but we're not going to have the other 2, the same other 2. Explain why the defense by AG style doesn't value the linebackers, the main thinking of the NFL these days. I think what's going on is there's a lot of tight ends, a lot of wide receivers that rip up the middle with speed, and so they're utilizing a lot of safeties, hybrid safeties. You're seeing it right now. You got hybrid linebacker safeties like Isaiah Simmons. You're seeing a lot of nickel corners used a little bit more to match the speed coming into the NFL. You got to look at how college prospects and college come into the NFL, so teams have to adjust. And as of late, it's been a lot of tight ends. It's been a lot of number 3 wide receivers like a Amon-Ra St. Brown or like a Golden Tate or a Deebo Samuel that's been doing those damages. So defenses just adjust to offenses, and it's going to switch, I'm sure, in a couple years, and that's how the NFL works. We had a conversation behind the scenes, Antonio Hightower and Mark Oram and TA about this, of how the NFL is consistently changing, because when the college changes, those players come into the NFL, and it changes the game. A lot of wide receivers are talented coming from college into the NFL, and so you're seeing teams have to adjust to that. Just like quarterbacks are changing. You're seeing a lot of dual-threat quarterbacks or mobile quarterbacks. That's just how it goes, and I'm sure at some point it changes back. That's just the way that I personally see it. Is Dose of Dion going to be on tonight? Dick Fitzwell has some questions for him. I don't think so. I don't see him. I sent him a DM. I haven't heard back. Maybe he's got something going on. But right now, it's the summertime. A lot of people are doing vacation. A lot of people are enjoying the time away. If you live in the state of Michigan, we don't have that. A lot of summertime, a lot of glory days. It's going to get cold here soon, so people want to enjoy their time off. So that's why you've seen not many people on, whether it be my channel or on this channel as well. Swift is a receiver like that too. Yeah, 100%. Dr. Detroit brings up another great fact. Now you're even seeing running backs play a lot in the backfield as a receiver. It's just how the game has changed. We've seen for a time the Miami Dolphins, I think it was over a decade ago, where they had the Wildcat offense. That phase worked. Then it went through. You see phases through the NFL. That's just how it goes. That's the way that it works. Raw Detroit, make sure you subscribe to Raw Detroit. Great content creator for the Detroit Lions. Played at a high level in college, running back position. Does a lot of prospects. Love it. Love it. So make sure you subscribe to his channel. Who do you think will be the middle linebacker, Davis or Rodriguez? Look, I think Alex Anzalone is going to be taking he's going to be taking the calls initially. They love this guy. I think he's going to be taking a lot of calls. Watch for Chris Board, too. Be interested to see what happens there because he's getting a lot of hype. I don't know about taking the calls yet. He's a newer to the football team. Derek Barnes, I don't think he'll be getting it. That's kind of what I see. Houston's going to be playing linebacker, Malcolm Rodriguez. We'll see it all, but that's going to be very fascinating in training camp. What happens with this linebacker position? It's probably the biggest question mark on this team. A lot of things aren't that much of a question mark. We already know who a lot of these receivers are going to be starting. We know who the quarterback's going to be. We know who the tight end's going to be. We don't know tight end number 3, but we pretty much know 1 and 2. We know the defensive lineman. We know the secondary, but we don't know the linebacker core. So that's just the way it is. Why don't you put Raw on, Mike? He works 2 jobs. Raw Detroit is working while he's talking right now. Raw Detroit works insane amount of time. That's why he's never on. He lives on the West Coast, gets West Coast time. So right now, he's still working, or he's on his way home from working. So he has 2 jobs. This guy, I don't know how he has multiple channels, but he works insane amount of hours. He's the hardest working man on YouTube honestly is the person that I know. Who other than Anzalone could wear the green sticker? That's the big question mark, Derek. I don't know. I do not know. And that is the giant question that we're going to hopefully figure out, soon enough when training camp hits. Take a coin or take a roll of dice and throw the dice up and put a name on each side. That's what I got right now. What's going on? Again, if you guys got questions, I may have some answers. Throw questions in the comment section. Hashtag Lions, hashtag LNU, hashtag 58 in the building, hashtag FGB. James Brown on YouTube. Hey, man, I tell you what, man, he's like everything on YouTube. Raw Detroit, do you got a question? Who's in the first fight on Hard Knocks? Ooh, I like that. How about this? We seen it last year. I was at training camp last year, Derek. How about Amon-Ra St. Brown versus Jeffrey Okudah? We'll see that fight. They were rough last year in preseason. They were getting feisty. Those two were getting... Amon-Ra St. Brown's a dog. He likes to fight. Those two, I think, will get in a skirmish. I'm going to put those two at it because they were getting a skirmish last year. It was glorious. I loved it. I think they can get into it. Hashtag FGB 100%. He says Penei Sewell. Sewell's got that dog in him. He was going at Aaron Donald. He's a dog. I like it, Derek. I could potentially see that. What's going on? Go Lions. Appreciate you jumping in the building. Go Lions or anyone else who just got in. If you got a question, do hashtag with the question. I see it. Great way to get this conversation flowing. Who has more yards after the catch? St. Brown or Shark? I'll say St. Brown's going to have more yak. He seems like the yak guy to me. I think that DJ Shark's going to get a lot of big plays, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's going to get that middle passes. He's going to break some big time plays from that. So I'm going to say him. I think he's the guy that's going to get the yak. Again, he's like, he does remind you of a Golden Tate a little bit in that sense. When we have other team scrimmage, who fights? I think we go against the Colts, right? Is it this year we scrimmage against the Colts? So, I don't know. We'll go with the offense versus defensive line. How about Taylor Decker gets in a fight with somebody over there? Would you give Walker the green dot? I don't know. I mean, I could. He's a veteran as well. He knows the defense. You see it more rare when it comes to safety. I'd probably give it to the linebacker there. I'd probably give it to Anzalone a little bit more. In all honesty, what do you see as the most improved position? This one's easy to me. DA Artist, FKA Spoon. This one's the easiest to me. Wide receiver is the most improved position. Last year, it was the worst wide receiver core in the NFL. It was 32. I'd put it at 35 out of 32. It was really bad. This year, they completely revamped it. It's one of the better wide receiver cores in the NFL. Their wide receivers are really good. Jameson Williams and DJ Shark coming back. DJ Shark being signed, Jameson Williams being drafted is huge for the revamped wide receiver. And remember, Josh Reynolds wasn't with the team for the first half of the season. And Amon-Ra St. Brown did nothing the first half. So this wide receiver core is improved in a big freaking way. It goes from like one of the worst to one of the better ones. So I like it. And also the offensive line regarding health-wise, because they were pretty banged up last year. If the Lions make the playoffs, AG be back for DC? No, I don't think AG is coming back for DC even right now, even if we don't make the playoffs. To me, he's going to get a head coaching job. I think this defense is going to improve even from last year. But what he did with all these players that undrafted and injured, everything he did deserves a head coaching job. And I think he's going to get it. He should. I think he should. What week do you have Jay Will start? How about week 7? Week 6 our bye week. I have week 7 Jameson Williams starting. I don't think they're going to rush him at all. I think they're going to take their time, probably be, because we got weapons at wide receiver. They're going to take their time and understand we don't need to rush him. We got DJ Shark. We got Josh Reynolds. We got Amon-Ra St. Brown. We got Quintez Cephas. They're so good at depth. They don't need to rush it. Bring him back week 7 and blow up the NFL and really start to tear it up. I think that's what happens. Because we really don't need him to be rushed back. We want to look at the long haul for Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is a piece for this team, not just this year, but for many years. He is a vital, important piece to the Lions offense to be successful in the upcoming years. Be a big-time playmaker for the Detroit Lions. So don't screw up his injury. We don't need to rush him. Don't need to. Let's take our time. This guy is a baller when he is healthy. They would have won the championship game if he would have stayed healthy. He's a baller. He's a playmaker. He is a great wide receiver. I think they take time. Top picks for Detroit Pro Bowl players next year. Are you talking about for the players that are on Pro Bowl players that I would have? I don't know if they're going to make the Pro Bowl. As you know, the Pro Bowl is all about popularity contest. But people or players that deserve to be in the Pro Bowl for this up-and-coming Pro Bowl, to me, will be Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow. They deserve it because I think their offensive line is going to be really good. And it's hard to say. There's a lot of good wide receivers. You could see an alternate there, like a Amon-Ra St. Brown. You could see something like that. Jack Fox potentially, but we're not going to be, we aren't aggressive on 4th down, so maybe they don't punt as much, but players in the offensive line absolutely should get that nod. Fox Pro Bowler, yep, Bob O'Lane. But again, the reason why he didn't go last year or didn't get the recognition last year is because we were so aggressive on 4th down, so I think that may keep him out of it because of that. Do we keep Julian and make him a linebacker or put him in the defensive end rotation? Derek, great question. I actually did a video with talking about Julian Okwara, how they need to figure out what they're going to do with this guy. Make him a linebacker, put him at edge, but he's talented. Put a position on him, put a title on him, and get him doing that and excelling in that. I don't know what they're going to do with him. I hope linebacker, because I feel like that's something he can excel at. And if you look at our defensive line, we have a ton of talent there. So push him to linebacker. That's what I would personally like to see. Do you think we will be 2-3 or 3-2 by the bye week? Go Lions, great question. I'll say 2-3. I think they could be 2-3 by the bye week. I think we lose week 1, we win week 2, and Minnesota is we play Minnesota very tough. The games always come down to the last minute drive, but either one could be realistic there, but I'll just go with 2-3 to be safe. Only things I'm worried about is linebacker and quarterback. Other than that, the Lions are dangerous. Lavelle Hayes, I think you're spot on right there. I 100% agree with you. I think we're on the same page. Linebacker, nervous about. Quarterback, I'm not too nervous about Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff's going to do what we expect him to do. But if he goes down, I'm deathly scared. He goes down, we ain't winning a game. That's my fear. Linebackers, just we don't know what we have. We don't have. It's a position that's not settled, and that's unsettling to me. It's unsettling to me. Trade Okwara's, not a fan. Possible. I mean, Julian Okwara could be a player to be traded. No one's going to take Romeo because of the injury. And rumor has it that he may not even be back for a couple weeks for initial part of the season. So if that's the case, he's not going anywhere. Pro Bowl, St. Brown, Sewell, surprises Barnes. Okay, I like it. That would be a very big surprise for Barnes. A lot of good linebackers in the NFC. A lot of them. He may not make the team, Mark. No, I'm 100% with you. 100% with you. Julian may not make the football team. That's what I've been saying. That's a bold prediction for me, is he may not make the team. 100% agree. How much progress as a head coach does Dan Campbell make from year 1 to year 2? He's learned from his mistakes and will correct them. I think he'll make significant progress. First, the wins are going to go up. I think that's the most important part for him. Going to go from 3 wins to 7 to 8. A big jump there. I think he's going to give the offensive play duties to Ben Johnson. That's going to make him better as a head coach, more focus on that. And if you look at last year, he got better each game. He was absolute butt cheeks the first half of the season with some of these calls, but he got much better the second half of the season. So you're going to see letting his coaches coach, not be a micromanager, not be a guy that's dictating everything. He didn't trust Anthony Lynn, so that's why he had to do it last year. But other than that, if he lets his exceptional coaches coach, he'll be successful. And that's the greatest thing, a lesson a leader needs to understand. I was a sergeant in the Army. One of the lessons that I learned being a sergeant is let your men do their job. Don't micromanage them. They're men. They can handle the duty. Don't be over their shoulder telling them what to do. They got it. And if you do that, you're a good leader. You're a leader of men, and you'll be successful, in all honesty. I think that's what Pat Matricia was terrible. I think he was an absolute terrible micromanager. From all the things that I heard from an insider, can't say the name, but they said he was an absolute micromanager in the office, was just a ruthless dictator. So people can't stand that, and you'll never be a leader if you do that. Lions transaction tight end into a linebacker transition. That would be crazy. Well, we got a ton of tight ends. Hey, they want to make a roster, do it. Trade for a linebacker. I do player v. player trade, raw Detroit TA, but I'm not wanting to trade draft picks because I got the up-and-coming draft. I'm all about drafting our players. I want to just draft a linebacker early. Player v. player, all about it. If there's someone out there, and like if you're like a Julian Akwara and some other team's offering a linebacker, and maybe they want something a little bit different, I'd be down for that. Is Detroit becoming a destination that players want to come to? Great question. I think it will if you win. I think it all stems from winning. If you can have an organization that consistently wins, players will want to come there. We already got the love for the coaches. I think that players are understanding that this coaching staff's a good coaching staff, so players are going to want to play. And money. Let's not be lying here. Players want to get paid. And if you are not with Tom Brady, players will take less pay to play for Tom Brady. But you do pay, you have a good organization, and you win. Players will want to come there, 100%. And I think that will be the case. I think the Lions are going to win more games this year, 7-8 wins. Jamal Williams have a great year and go back to Green Bay. It's possible he could go back to Green Bay. I don't think he comes back after this season. I think he's gone after this year because we do have Craig Reynolds. We do have right now Jamar Jefferson, and we got a draft coming up where we have a ton of draft picks again. So the Lions could just simply draft a running back. So I could see Jamal Williams leaving and going back to Green Bay. Very well could. Dallas Cowboys have 1,000 linebackers. Get one. Yes, they do. They have 100,000 linebackers. Just like the Detroit Lions have 100,000 tight ends. Let's get one of their linebackers. Apparently, they got 53 to 55-man linebacker team over there. They got a ton of linebackers, and they're all talented. Tax laws for sports players in Michigan hurt the franchise. Yes, it does. That's why you got to pay a little bit more as well, because players want money. 91 in the chat with only 32 likes. How the hell is that happening? Folks, smash that like button. Let's get to 50 likes. I think it can happen. On LNU, Lions Nation Unite. We talk all things Detroit. And there's going to be some excellent interviews coming up on LNU. That's why you're going to want to subscribe. And look, there's players that you like, former players you love, that will be having interviews on here. Can't really spill the beans, but you just got to trust me that LNU is going to that next level. So subscribe if you haven't done it. Let's get to 4,000 subscribers. I'd love to do that. 4K. Does Motor City Dan Campbell pull out all the stops this season? I think that's what it is. Yes, he does. He's an aggressive coach. He learned that from being with the New Orleans Saints. Very aggressive there. Sean Payton taught him that. I don't think he'd be as aggressive as last year. I think we were so aggressive last year because we were a team that lacked talent, and they knew it. so they had to be extremely aggressive, but I think we'll still be a really aggressive football team. 100%. That's not going to stop. The Detroit Lions are an aggressive team because Dan Coach is aggressive. Has TJ done enough to earn a top 5 tight end contract? Not right now, no. I do not believe he deserves to get paid right now. After this season, we'll talk about it. This is a big year for TJ Hockenson because when he does get paid, it's going to be a top 5 tight end contract. But I want to see him make plays on the field. I want to see him be a difference maker to earn that type of contract. He's not been on the field enough for me right now to pay it. He's not showed enough via stats on the field for me to pay it. I would wait after this season. We do have 5th-year option too if all things fails. Wait on him. But Amani Oruwariye, I'm not waiting on him. I'm paying Amani Oruwariye now. Amani Oruwariye gets paid 302nd cornerback in the NFL. I don't even know how that's possible. There's 1,600 players in the NFL, but he gets paid 302nd. And Melifonwu gets paid more than him, and Jeffrey Okudah. I don't even know how that's possible, but it's true. I checked it. Pay Amani Oruwariye. He's been on the field. He's been consistent. He's shown everything to deserve that second contract. Does Motor City Dan Campbell pull all the stops in the first game? I think he will because he knows this is going to be a scoring game, and the Philadelphia Eagles are going to score a lot of points, and I think the Detroit Lions are going to have to score a lot of points to match. These guys are a running tack football team. They're going to attack. They smoked us last year. Dan Campbell knows this, and he's going to pull out the stops, as he should. When you have a team like this, you have to put up points. Teams like the Eagles, teams like the Dolphins, who I feel is going to put up points, you're going to have to match point for point. Even great defenses get smoked every once in a while. No Seahawk stuff. We got a Seahawk question. Let me know. Put a Seahawk question in the comment section. I don't mind answering a question. Do you remember AG bury the tape after Philadelphia lost? Do you think the game plan week 1 is to stop the run and make Hurts throw? I think it will definitely be an attempt to stop the run. Go Lions. There'll be an attempt there. But it's going to be really difficult because he's so good scrambler out of the pocket. I think he's going to throw, but 100%, I think that's the game plan. Do everything you can to stop the run. That would have to be it. I think Tyler Huntley would fit with the Lions. Interesting. Number 1, Tyler Huntley. Very interesting. I think you're going to be hearing a lot about that here in the next offseason. What's your current today order in the North? I have Chicago Bears 4, the Detroit Lions 3, Minnesota Vikings 2, Green Bay Packers 1. That is my order. Philly special, Philly game. I don't know if they're going to do no Philly special. I think every time you hear Philadelphia, they just say that. I don't know about that, but I think they'll go for it on 4th down. Maybe twice. If it's 4th and short, I would not be shocked. They go for it multiple times. Pay Amani Oruwariye. Raw Detroit, that's facts. Pay the man. Pay Amani, the most consistent player on defense. Since he's been drafted, he's been healthy. He's getting better every week. Pay the man. He's not going to get paid as a top 5 cornerback. He's not going to demand that. But he deserves to get paid, I think, as a 15 cornerback in the NFL. Pay the man. Can Reynolds or Jefferson or a 3rd running back be a power runner? I think Reynolds potentially could be that, but if you're looking for a 3rd one, it'd be Jason Kabinda for power. Jamal Williams is probably the number 1 power guy. I think Jason Kabinda is a fullback / running back / tight end / Dan Campbell guy, would be another power back. Craig Reynolds is more of a change of pace, and Jermar Jefferson to me is like a speed pace, kind of like a Theo Riddick. Like he's fast. He's got that burst of speed. I think that's what he can be. Is Jameson gonna burn Minnesota this year with extra motivation? I think when he plays him the second time, yes, because I don't think he's going to play him the first game. The second game, I think he's going to burn Minnesota in multiple teams. Jameson Williams, I want to thank you for coming to Detroit, and I want to thank the Minnesota Vikings for doing that trade, because we are happy that you are here in Detroit. And he is going to burn a lot of defenses. And hopefully it is Green Bay, Chicago, and of course Minnesota. If Goff has a bad year with the talent he has been given, do we hit the panic button? No, we hit the draft button. We will be drafting a quarterback. If he is not successful with the talent here and he has a bad year with all the offensive weapons that he has in his disposal, we'll be drafting a quarterback. So he'll have to hit the panic button because the Detroit Lions has 2 first-round picks, and this is a quarterback draft. A ton of quarterbacks in this draft. A ton. I think if he doesn't have a good year, you just draft a quarterback. I think the Detroit Lions would be perfectly fine with that. 100%. 4 years, 70 to 80 million? Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it'd probably be more like 68. Something like that. But he's going to get paid. You know, I'd do 5 year, though. I want him here 5 years. I like the 5 year. I want to keep him here. I truly think the Lions are going to shock in just the NFL, but I think the Lions are going to be shocked when they get a playoff berth and win. Nathan Bankhead, I hope that. I would love for the Lions to make. I would love the Detroit Lions to make the playoffs. That would shock me. I would be happily shocked. Bleacher Report has the Detroit Lions with a winning record. That's a bold prediction. If they have a winning record, that would suggest it'd be 9 wins. 9 wins could be a wild card spot. Not that much, 55 to 60 million. I'd like that. Don't draft a quarterback. Draft a quarterback or pay Lamar Jackson. Ooh. I tell you what, if Lamar Jackson is free, we're going to have like 75 million cap space. You'd have the most ridiculous run game in Detroit. You have weapons. Lamar Jackson would take you to the playoffs. I know a lot of people say, well, he can't throw. Well, he still take the Ravens to the playoffs. He still makes big plays. And then you could take those 2 first-round picks and draft a linebacker high and draft whatever you want high at that point. That would be ridiculous. Let me know in the comment section right now. Would you draft a quarterback or pay Lamar Jackson if he becomes a free agent? LJ for Lamar Jackson or draft a quarterback. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Lions, does Detroit gain more yards than they give up? Ooh, great question. I think they gain more yards. I think their offense is going to be pretty good this year. I would suggest they'll be top half of the NFL. And I think they're going to be better on defense this year, 100%. I think they'll be better. So I think they'll get more yards. Lamar Jackson, draft, halfway right now. If Detroit made a trade for Deshaun Watson, would you still be a fan? Sorry, tough question. Well, I would be upset now considering the fact that he's probably not going to play this year. So that would suck. Because if say we got rid of Jared Goff, we get Deshaun Watson. Well, we're probably going to be the first pick in the draft. So that would kind of piss me off. Draft, Lamar Jackson. If JSN fails in Detroit, who do you take? Draft Lamar Jackson. So half, 50-50. Half, 50-50. Right now with Lamar Jackson draft. JSN fails. Who is JSN? I must be an idiot here. I'm sure I'm an idiot, and I'm sure I'm missing it. Can you tell me who JSN is? Sign a vet. Well, he would be a vet, too. Lamar Jackson would be a vet. Would you agree Sheila has been putting the work in with her staff? Yeah, I do. I think she's doing a lot better than her parents have. She put in the work. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to destroy her because she has a Ford and just say it's automatic failed. No, she's done a good job. She got in Brad Holmes, Spielman. They got in Dan Campbell. Remember, Dan Campbell was not hired by Brad Holmes, so she helped with that. She's been in there in the meetings, and she's letting the guys work. That's all you can ask for. I'm not going to beat her up over it. She's done a good job so far, but it's all about wins. The Detroit Lions have to win. They win this year, they can start going in the right direction. Great. If she fails, she fails. But right now, I definitely give her credit. Hands down. The whole leadership right now gets credit. The Deshaun questions, I meant Morley. I cannot go to good faith root for a guy that brought in by Deshaun Watson. Well, that means, do you believe that he's a predator or not? That's a question. Sorry. Jackson Smith, Njigba, if he falls into Detroit's hands in the draft, would you take him? Ask me what other positions we get, because I don't know. I don't know what's the biggest need right now. Could be quarterback, could be something else. So I'm not really locked into doing, like, if you ask me about mock drafts right now, I would not be 100% pretty much on anything, because I don't really know who else would be available. You know, who else is going to be there? Does he have a bad season? We don't know players right now in college if they're going to be good or bad. You can say they're going to be good, but we got to see it on the field. They could end up being like a Joe Burrow situation, a guy out of nowhere, supposed to be a sixth-round pick, end up being the first pick in the draft. So ask me a couple weeks into the college season. Ask me a couple weeks into the NFL season. I could start to see what the two would mesh together. But I don't want to be locked in on anything right now. There's players I like, but in all honesty, I could like them right now and I could hate them here in a little bit. That's the way it is. Spencer Rattler is supposed to be a top draft pick this last year. End up sucking and going back into college because he wouldn't probably even been drafted. Do you Lions run more fullback sets or 4 wide receivers? I say 4 wide receiver sets because the talent is there. They probably run that a little bit more. Quarterback, linebacker, defensive tackle, biggest needs. Right now, I would say linebacker, quarterback, Dwayne Metcalf. I almost thought you're DK Metcalf for a minute. But things could change. I know it could change. So, but right now, if I were to look at it right now, I would say linebacker, quarterback, and who knows, maybe running back. Maybe Swift doesn't do well. Jamal Williams is not coming back. Maybe they don't like Jefferson. We don't really know. Maybe DJ Shark doesn't get re-signed, and he goes off to another team. So 100% don't really know. I don't know. 21 women. Would you be okay with your daughter? No, absolutely not. I'm not saying that I'm okay. I asked you. Do you believe it? Do you believe it? That's up to you. Now I'm not okay with it. 21 women? No. I got 2 daughters. I'm not okay with it at all. But I'll ask you, are you okay with it? Do you believe it? Do you think? That's up to you guys. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has an opinion on anything, and all opinions are welcome. They are all welcome. All he does is pay those bimbos off. Deshaun Watson probably won't get a slap on the wrist. I think he doesn't play this year, Deshaun Watson. If I am a betting man, he doesn't play this year. Now, he got the slap on the wrist. He already got paid by Cleveland Browns, a big paycheck. So, the money there. But if nothing, you would have to look at this. First off, the NFL is awful with disciplines. Awful. They've not been consistent. One player can slap up a kid, another one can beat up his wife, and it's all different. So they're consistently inconsistent. But with what's going on with the Me Too and what's going on with the accusations, I don't think he plays a snap this year. That's what I think. Does it happen? I don't know. The NFL is completely different. Now, if you look at what the Patriots owner did, he did the same thing, and nothing happened to him. So, I mean, the inconsistencies is ridiculous. And if you got money, we all know this, folks. We all know this. If you're a millionaire or a billionaire, you can get away with stuff way different than what the average person can. Who's that guy that, quote-unquote, accidentally died in prison who had a freaking island? He got away with it for many years. He's a billionaire. So, it's all different out there. I hear you, Micro. I don't want Deshaun Watson the same stats my wife or daughter, let alone the Lions. Hey, get it. Yeah, everyone has an opinion, man. I'm not going to disagree or agree or whatever. Everyone has an opinion. I think Rattler goes off this year in the SEC, and Bryson Young isn't the first quarterback taken. You mean Bryce Young? Look, he could go off. I think TA thinks he could go off. I just heard that 9 drinks while I was live on my show. Not 100% sure. I literally heard it while I was live, so I haven't read into it. But you could be Bryce Young. It could be C.J. Stroud. Could be Will Levis. It could be another quarterback. We don't know right now. And that's the lovely thing about college. We could have players we like, and then the season starts, and then someone else comes out and does really good. Rob Kraft rubs and tugs, and no one talks about it. And let's be honest here. There's a lot of stuff that happens by elites. We can call them elites, people with money that can do shady stuff that you and I could never do. Ever. Anyone know where Watson lives? We're moving to Louisville. Hope he doesn't have a place there. I have no idea. You can think Cleveland, if that's his new team. For sure, I don't know. I know he doesn't live in Holland, Michigan. That's where I live. Let me know where you guys live. I live in Holland, Michigan. That's where I live. Let me know where you guys are at. Here's Siri guys at. I love seeing people from, we had someone come from Pluto, Uranus, Mars. I love it when I have people from different planets. Those are the best. Are you a little scared of the OSU quarterbacks if Bryce Young, when we draft? I don't care about none of that where a person goes to college. I don't buy into that hype. They all said that about Justin Herbert. I told folks Justin Herbert was going to light it up. I don't care about where a person goes. I care about their intangibles and tangibles. That's what I care about. Mount Pleasant, we got Westland, Michigan. Love it. Louisville, love it. Detroit, baby. Kevin Fields, I'm sure I'll see you at training camp. Texas, I love Texas, though. Donovan, I was in Texas for training to go to Iraq. Love Texas. Melbourne, Florida. Toronto, Canada. Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Love Mount Pleasant, Alan Data. I love it, man. I got to take a vacation, go up there. I got to do it. Got to do it. Haven't done it yet. Haven't taken any vacation yet. My vacation is getting on here and talking football. Crazy vacation. If you could add one player in the NFL on the roster, who would you pick? If you could add one player, any player in the NFL, any player, I'd add Patrick Mahomes. I'd add him right now. If I could add any player, it'd be Patrick Mahomes. I go him all day, go to the Super Bowl. With the wide receiver we have, we go to the Super Bowl. 100%. When you're going to training camp, I should be there July 30. Maybe I go to Detroit July 29, but I'll be there all week. I'm going to be hanging out with Chrissy, Herm, Detroit Lions podcast with Chris. They're doing an event on the 30th. We're going to talk about it in the weekend, so I'll be there all week. Going to be a fun time. If you see me, say what's up. That is what's up. Well, the funny part is, last week, 6 days ago, I said I was going to training camp, and a guy said, he says, you don't know what I look like, but I know what you look like, and I'm going to slap you. So it'll be interesting to see if Mr. Funky shows up and says what he's going to do. We'll see about that. We'll see. See how cheap Baker Mayfield went to the Panthers? Should the Detroit Lions done the same for a quarterback? I would have. I want the backup quarterback, but that's just me. But again, I understand them not wanting to get draft picks. It was, what is a 4th-round pick? I'm just concerned. Dowagiac, Michigan. Hey, I have a unit up there. I'm sure D Cool, you may know it. Charlie Troop, first of the 126. I was there for a couple of years. Will Kirby Joseph start on opening day? No. Elliott will. Unless Elliott gets injured, then he would be put in the lineup. But no, he will not. I got season tickets. I'll be there. Awesome. Season ticket holder. Love it. Absolutely love it. Are you guys season ticket holders? Put that in the comment section as well. I am not. My neighbor is. I am not a season ticket holder. That's love. I got your back. Hey, I ain't too worried about it. All I can say is I was in Iraq for a year. I had a lot of enemies over there that didn't like me. And I didn't know what they look like. And I'm still alive. So I'm not too worried. And those were one of the scariest men to ever walk the planet over there in Iraq. Just an FYI. I did pretty good as an infantry soldier, so I ain't too worried about it. Great young man. People need to keep the comments about football. We're Detroit, not Cleveland. I'm excited to see if Goff takes the Rams to the Super Bowl and takes the Rams to the Super Bowl. Well, Goff's not going to take the Rams. The Lions to the Super Bowl, I would love it. I'd love it. Man, Nathan, if we could go to the Super Bowl, I'd be doing backflips upon backflips, and I can't do backflips, folks. I got a double fusion in my neck. I got a scar all the way down from my neck all the way down my back. It's ugly. I can't do backflips. Ain't happening. But if Detroit Lions get the Super Bowl, I'm going to do something I can't do. Backflips. When does Hard Knocks start? I think it starts a week after preseason. So generally they tape it. They tape the first week and of preseason, and then they go. So it's like a week back. I'm not 100% sure on this. I have to see what HBO does. But I'm thinking that's it. I could be wrong. Someone could fact check that and find out the exact time. Who has the kind of money for that price of gas? Look, I don't have that money. I live in Holland, Michigan. That'd be a lot of money. That'd be driving up there. But I tell you what, I'll be going to Detroit quite a bit this year because of Herm and getting stuff done with him. What pick do we start next year's draft? Ooh. Look, I don't know. Fort Lee, Virginia. Love it, Ben. 8 through 13. I think that's kind of where the Lions could pick. Something around there. I don't know, but I don't think it's a top 5 pick. I don't believe that at all. How would you feel about Jameson Williams somehow be ready for week 1? If he is ready, I'm perfectly happy about that. If he's ready. Like, if he's physically ready. But I don't push him if he's not ready. If he's ready, hey, hell, I'm happy as can be. But I want him to be fully healthy. Fully good to go. No need to rush it. What's up, Rad? Rad is in the building. Make sure you go ahead and subscribe to his channel. Got some great channels over there. They do 49ers too. But Detroit Lions a little better. Come on, we all know that. Detroit Lions are better. Hard Knock debuts 8-9. Okay, so close, Christopher. Thank you so much. At 10 p.m., I know that it's on HBO, so we're talking August 9th is that. And guess what? That's right after the time. It's preseason is what? So they're going to do a week of training camp before preseason. So HBO Hard Knocks episode 2 will probably be preseason 1. So yeah, it's right around there. Do you think Aiden Hutchinson lives up to the hype? Yes, he lives up to the hype. Absolutely. 100%. Aiden Hutchinson, when I think of a bust, I think of players that don't have it up here. A lot of players that come in the NFL, they have the tangibles. They're very athletic. When we're talking about the best athletes in the world, sometimes they don't have it up here. Either they're not, mature enough, they're partiers, whatever, they're lazy. Aiden Hutchinson's none of that. He's mature. He's a beast. He is not lazy. He likes to be relentless. So he's going to live up to the hype. Unless there's injuries. Something unforeseen like an injury. Other than that, no doubt about it, he lives up to it. Anyway, we surprised Buffalo on Thanksgiving. Look, there's always a chance. I mean, I would bet on Buffalo winning. If you were to give me 100 bets, I would bet 99 times that they're going to win. But there's always a chance. I mean, hell, did anyone expect the Detroit Lions to maul the Arizona Cardinals last year? Nope. But we did. It always happens sometimes where a good team has a bad game and a team maybe not the greatest has a really good game. It happens. This is the NFL. It's not for long. It's week to week. It happens. We've seen historically bad teams beat good teams. It just happens all the time. Lions, does Goff throw for 4,000? No, I don't have him going, well, maybe 4,000, round 4,100, 3,900, something around there, possibly. 5,000, absolutely not. It's funny, I met Aiden Hutchinson on my job. Well, that's awesome. Hopefully you had a good experience at meeting Aiden Hutchinson. Looks like a cool guy. My sister-in-law says, Mike, if you ever meet Aiden Hutchinson, tell him to give him my number. I laughed. I said, yeah, okay. Not happening. But, yeah, so he's a good guy. Any given Sunday, it's 100% any given Sunday. It is. It really is. You know, in 2007, the Giants were the 6th seed, win the Super Bowl against the Patriots, who are undefeated. So it's any given Sunday. Do we get better record than the Cowboys? No, I think the Dallas Cowboys are a better football team. Their defense is sick. It's ridiculous. They got a really good defense. Their offense is really good. They got a good football team over there. Micah Parsons, different level. Jabril Cox, really good. Diggs, good corner. They got a good offense. And I think they have a pretty good record. Smash that like button. That's what Rad says. I appreciate Rad. Smash that like button's fun. And Herm would say the same thing. He would say that we got 107 in the building with only 56 likes. That's unacceptable. Let's get to 75 likes. 75, folks. Right now we have more people in the building than we did on my own channel. People loving it. But let's get those likes up. I bet Motor City Dan Campbell surprises onside kick, fakes kicks, etc. Buffalo. It wouldn't shock me one bit. Knowing that you have to would not shock me one bit. Raiders versus Lions Super Bowl. That would be interesting. I would be going against the Raiders report with Mitchell Rentz. I'd love to do that. He would be live. I would be live. We'd be going at it. See who gets the most people in the chat. Probably be him. Well, I tell you what, I think we'd have more fun because the Lions in the Super Bowl would be ridiculous because they've never been there. If Taylor Decker missed more than 5 to 6 games, do we move Penei Sewell left tackle and get rid of Taylor Decker? If he misses 5 to 6 games this year, I am going to go ahead and put Penei Sewell next year on the left side, and I will get rid of Taylor Decker, and I will draft a right tackle. That's what I would do. He can't do this again because we need to have a consistent offensive line, and he needs to be on this offensive line. And Penei Sewell, to me, is a left tackle who can be dominant left tackle. So why not, if he misses games, move on from him? We got the draft picks. We got a ton of draft picks this year, and I would not be shocked if Aaron Glenn gets a head coaching job, and we get another conditional third-round pick. So, yes, it's a big year for Taylor Decker. He needs to show out. Do you think that we have an easier schedule than past years? Usually Lions have the hardest schedule. Yes. I think this is probably the easiest schedule they had the past couple years. Usually you're right. We have an awful schedule. A brutal schedule. I think this year is easier. Defense stompers. She has a much better direction with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. 100%. Facts. She's done a good job. She's taken over. She fired Quinn Trisha. That was the best start of all time. Did a great job there. Hired Brad Holmes, Spielman, Dan Campbell. Everything is looking good. So hopefully she keeps it up and the wins now happen. I do believe the ground game has to be on point to allow Goff to open up his game. 100. Oh, D. Cool. That's facts. And that goes for any quarterback in the NFL. You give them a good running game, it's going to open up the pass game. It forces the safety down. You're going to get one-on-ones. It's going to happen. So, yeah, play action is a big part of this offense. You have to have that run game. And it did open up last year because of the threat of the run game. I think it's going to open up even more this year because we have so many wide receivers. It works the opposite effect. If you have a ton of wide receivers, the run game can open up, and then vice versa, the pass games open up. I'm starting to do sports on TikTok. Do you know anything about CapCut? I absolutely know nothing about TikTok and about CapCut. But Owen, if you want to go ahead and throw your information in TikTok in the comment section, I can shout it out. I don't have any of those, so I don't know anything about it. Maybe I should. Lions, does DJ Shark get 1,000 overall yards? I think he does, yeah. I think he gets over 1,000 yards. I think this guy is going to ball out. I think he's going to be a baller from day one. He stays healthy, he's going to be a factor. Mike, is that Holland, Michigan in the background? No, you'll see none of this in Holland, Michigan. If I had a bunch of windmills, that's what you would see. If you at Walmart, some windmills, get some Target and some Myers over there, a couple bowling alleys, couple Holland 7s, Star Theaters. That would be Holland, Michigan background, but the lake is real. That is, we do have a lake right there. I live 5 miles from Lake Michigan, and 100%. But that's not Lake Michigan. I don't. Yes, I wish it was though. Is this Okudah's last chance to prove he is worth his draft number? Yes, I think it is. Derek, this is his big year. It's a big year for Jeffrey Okudah, and he better live up to it. Because if he doesn't, there's a guy named Melifonwu who I think is an up-and-comer, and if Jeffrey Okudah doesn't live up to it in the first couple weeks, there's that trade deadline. He could be a player they could trade away before the trade deadline. You better have a first quarter of the season, in my opinion. Because I like Melifonwu and what he brings to this team. I like Jerry Jacobs and what he brings to this team. And if you want to get more draft capital, or if you want to do a player swap, Jeffrey Okudah would be a nice one to do that with. Maybe another team thinks they can get something out of him. Who are you most afraid of losing to an injury this year? Jared Goff. Jared Goff, Jared Goff, Jared Goff. There's other players can be replaced. Jared Goff cannot be replaced. Frank Ragnow goes down, Evan Brown. A wide receiver goes down, the depth's great. TJ Hockenson goes down, it's just tight end. Running back goes down, we have more depth. Corners goes down, we have depth. Defensive end depth. We have Malcolm Rodriguez at linebacker depth. You lose Jared Goff, you're screwed. We're not going to win a game. We're going to be a high pick in the draft. Jared Goff is the most valuable player by the fact that there's nobody behind him. Nobody that can do his job. It is him and then a black hole of talent behind him at the quarterback position. It will be a dumpster fire if he goes down. Do the Lions finish at top 15? I could see around 15, Haters House. I think that would be a logical spot. Could be. Very close. Is your all defense going to be good? I say it's going to be okay. 20-ish. I don't think it's going to be horrible. I think it'd be all right, Angela. Appreciate you coming in here. I think it'd be okay. Last year's a dumpster fire. I think it'd be better this year. It's not going to be the worst. Does Walker get 100 tackles? I would say no. Do you feel in the air? Remember the Titans coach, Yokes. Don't let them gain another R. Remember forever the night they played the Titans. Oh, man, that would be cool, man. Remember the Titans, a good movie. Very good movie. Do you think Goff will take more shot downfield? Yes, because if we have DJ Shark and Jamison Williams, by that, I do believe they take more shots. And the offensive line will be more intact. What happens? You can run the football and play action. I think that is all good. 114 in the chat. Amazing. Let's get to 75 likes. Now 115. Y'all are awesome. Let's get to 75 likes. Are you going to a game this year? Not 100% sure. Because of the schedule that I do, a Herm schedule that I got to work around, and my schedule. So I will get back with you on that. Don't know. Who's the first Lion drafted in fantasy football drafts this year? First Detroit Lion drafted. T.J. Hockenson as a tight end. No. No, I'll switch it. DeAndre Swift. I say Swift would be the first one. Swift. I can see that. Folks, we've been on for an hour. You know what that means. It's time to get off. Grand Rapids, Michigan. Yeah, that's 30 minutes for me. It's time to get off. I appreciate everybody being on the show, rocking with me on my channel, rocking with me on LNU, just taking questions, not doing anything crazy, not doing interviews, but just hanging out. Folks, we're getting closer. Angela, y'all wide receivers going to have a good year? I think so, Angela, and I appreciate you coming in. Huge shout out to you for coming in here. Thank you, everyone, showing up, taking QA questions. Angela, if you're not a Lions fan, next time you come in, put in questions about your team. You could talk about your team. I don't care. You can all follow me on Lions Talk with MicroMike by Chat Sports. Live every single Thursday. Lions Talk with MicroMike by Chat Sports. Bless you all. See you all later. With that said, folks, adios.
I feel nauseous, believe me. Never had a lot of shit come easy. Had to work hard, struggle just to be me. Had to rise up just so they could see me. Did what I had to do just to feed me. And what was left over I put towards my dreaming. But the only thing in life that has meaning are the things you gotta work for, believe me. Take into your hands a plan, your own hands can land your own brand. And damn, I feel like no one takes accountability. They want the credibility, convincingly unwilling to put in the hours it takes to get some power. Don't be f***ing sour, take a cold shower. Scream until you're louder, work until you're prouder. And f*** all the doubters, they're just your downers. I swear to God they all let me down. I always fought just to wear the crown. I'm off at these fucking clowns who were all taught they deserve an ounce. It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now.